Nathan Judah. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Tim Spiers. Tim, Wolves 0, Huddersfield 2. That was pretty poor.
Where? I think we should say where we are.
Oh yeah, we've come in because I know we get complaints, and the lawnmowers don't like complaints. We don't like complaints. So thankfully we're very lucky to be in the mix zone now. Thanks to Max, the press officer, and it's all quiet, calm. We've got sponsorship boards behind us, and with multi-award winning platinum artist and journalist Mr. Tim Spiers. There was nothing. Nothing going to win awards out there today, was there? It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Except for Aaron Moy, might win.
Yeah, he was superb, wasn't he?
Goal of the day. Yeah, there was there were very few positives. I'm afraid.
No, I mean, look, you go 1-0 down. Obviously, a bit of a shock, but you think that there's 80 minutes left, plenty of time, and they never really look like threatening all day long, really.
They just never got going. Probably the worst performance under Nuno.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Can't think of any worse.
A performance to sort of be angry at, I think, and there was a lot of frustration in the stands. Boos at Molineux for the half-time, full-time whistles. I think that's the first under Nuno as well. It's just a real sense of kind of frustration and anger because we know Wolves could do so much better than this, and we expected them to turn up and perform as they did at Arsenal, and that would be more than enough to win the game today. I've got to say, first and foremost, Huddersfield bloody good.
Yeah, well, they pushed them, didn't they?
They got the game plan spot on. I thought Wagner's got it. Out-thought Nuno, and the players have out-fought Wolves on the pitch. Yeah, you've got to take the spot on. They completely stopped Neves and Moutinho. Wing-backs weren't effective either. The only player who did himself justice was Conor Cody, who I thought was very good, but nobody else did themselves justice on a very, very poor day.
And Moutinho pulled at half-time. Cavallero off as well. I mean, do these players need to adapt more if it's not working? Because obviously Huddersfield had a game plan, it was working. Have they got a plan B? Is that the problem?
Not really. Not strictly speaking. They've got tweaks and changes, but no, we mentioned this before, that they may need one this season, and that's the way it's going now with five games and no wins. What I would say about Moutinho is, yes, he's had a poor game, but it shows that nobody's big enough not to be taken off at half-time, doesn't it? He's the most
hold off,
prestigious kind of a career history in that dressing room, by a distance. So, not afraid to take him off, but yeah, deservedly so. And Cavallero, I think that perhaps.
There's interesting tweets.
Perhaps unfairly tweeted that it looked like he'd won a competition to play, but it was that kind of
bad. It was bad, and
that's not a reflection on how good a player he is. It was almost kind of laughable to see, how bad it was. He just had a stinker. In training when they give you the yellow bib for worst player in training. No, that was just him all day. Just had one of those days. Taking him half time, but that was a real surprise as well.
But look, it just looked disjointed. I mean, they gave the ball away. They didn't have. Always dominate possession here at home. You'd think, but Huddersfield had more possession than them. When they did get the ball, they lost it. I mean, Nuno's angry up there. That's as angry as I've seen him up there. He knows that it was pretty poor today. Actually, I think you look at it second half, and you've got Traoré playing up front, and you've got Jimenez on the left. It just doesn't look right, does it?
He's angry, and he's been tearing strips off that dressing room as well. I tell you, very angry with that. But yeah, they just didn't turn up. They were half a yard off pace. I mean, Doherty for the first goal was jogging back. And gets overtaken by the Huddersfield left wing back, who provides assist for the goal. That's not like him at all.
No.
And a few of them just looked off the pace, half a yard off the pace. And I know they're the international break, and a lot of them have travelled, but it's an unacceptable performance. They've had an extra day, which should have helped them. But it's another hangover after the international break. It's the same one with the Watford game last week. But yeah, Huddersfield completely deserved it. They played some great stuff second half. It wasn't like they were sitting back and on the 1-0 as I would have thought they would have done. They were still going for it, playing by far the better football. They knew exactly what they were doing in midfield, and they completely overran Wolves.
And yet, for how poor Wolves were, they were not inches, they were centimetres away from equalising.
I know. Yeah, so you kind of don't really want to focus on that. You want to say, look, Wolves were fairly beaten. But yeah, 55 minutes. They did have a bit of a resurgence at the start of the second half. Traoré coming on, and it was his cross, nicely, delicately lifted to the back post. Jimenez does what he has to do, heads it towards the goal line, and it's a superb clearance. Acrobatic clearance off the line. And 1.8 centimetres of the ball was not over the line. But if it wasn't for goal line technology, that would have been given, because it just looked in. It just looked in. and that's a huge stroke of misfortune. But
it wasn't,
overall,
so I guess it's a no goal. So. But like you say, no winning 5. You go to Cardiff now. I mean, difficult decisions he's got to make this week, and he's got to probably find out from his players at Compton who's ready for this on Friday night, because they've got to be ready and they've got to be in the right frame of mind, because Cardiff will not be easy.
For me, the guys have got to look to Cody as their inspiration, and because there was a turning point, what should have been a turning point, half an hour into the game. I think it was Alex Pritchard was sort of ghosted through from midfield, and Cody cruised with a fantastic sliding tackle and won a goal kick as well, by the way. And the whole crowd responded.
Which he needed at that point.
And then he was doing all this and getting the crowd going. That should have been the catalyst, but it wasn't. The players didn't respond. And like I said, he did very well today. I thought Joan played himself justice. So the other players have got to use his example, I think, because they didn't look up for it today.
No.
He did, but they didn't look up for it.
So what would you change? I mean, has Jota and Traore got to be knocking on the door now? Do you give Costa and Caballero another go, because they're both underperformed today?
It's just so frustrating, because
you think after Arsenal then you're buzzing, absolutely.
And Costa Caballero were excellent.
So can they only play against these big sides? Is that Wolves' best because they get space, they're given space to play the ball when people are trying to press them and close them down in games that should win against lower league opposition? They're often struggling.
No, because they won away at Crystal Palace, they won away at a struggling West Ham side, they beat Burnley, they should have scored about 5 goals that day. So no, they can do it against the lesser teams, even when they're not afforded that much space. Southampton came in for a 0-0, and Wolves eventually ground them down and won 2-0. That was another good performance. So they can do it. Why they haven't done it today, I don't know. They look short confidence. Every player was giving the ball away. Every single player gave that ball away. Even Patricio, who's kind of summed up the first half. You had Bennett shanking a 25-yard into the stands, which kind of summed it all up, really.
And Neves at the end summed it up as well with his free kick.
And he was
poor.
Worryingly poor today. And we haven't seen the best from him or Moutinho for a while. And it's no coincidence that Wolves have played well in that time. They've got to sort that out, because in theory they're two fantastic midfielders, and it's one of the best partnerships in the league. It's not working at the moment. It's not working. The team's figuring it out. But Huddersfield leapt on them. As soon as the ball came into them in midfield, they leapt on them, took it off them, and Moy was outstanding. I thought. Billing as well was very good. So yeah, they're doing a bit of a plan B in that respect.
But like 3 or 4 games ago, and people are talking about European football and top half and top 6 and top 7s. You interviewed the fans today.
Journalists were.
Journalists were. And pundits and plenty of them as well. Yeah. Interviewing the fans outside today, and people saying, "Look, it's survival. You've got to look at survival." And you lose a few more, you lose a couple more, and they're going to be in a scrap.
If you lose to Cardiff, then that's a big thing, because they're in a bit of a rut now, and if this carries on, they'll sink down the table. They're still 11th, which is great, and it's a position that everybody would like Wolves to be in next May. I think everyone would take 11th. But if this carries on, with a small squad and not too many changes to make, by the way, they purposely and deliberately got a small squad, so you can't give a case for too many players to come into this team.
And wing-backs hanging by a thread, no more injuries, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So January becomes more important, but I don't think they'll be spending very much money in January, given them what they've spent so far. They've still got to spend 12 million on Dendoncker. I don't think they've got a huge amount of cash around because of financial fair play to spend a lot of money in January. So you're looking at the loan market. So basically, they need to address this as soon as possible. They've got an opportunity to do that. They've got to be up for it on Friday, because Cardiff will be, obviously, and they'll want to. I'm not sure it's the game you want, really.
It's not the game you want,
to be honest. I think you want Chelsea at home first, and give it a really good go and probably play a lot better. It's not an ideal game. It's a big week on the training pitch. Big week.
Can we finish on a positive, please, Timothy?
Yeah, it's time to go home.
Okay. Wolves 0 Huddersfield 2. For all the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to expressthestar.com.